We're here for the second in what will be about a 52-part series as we journey day by day, chapter by chapter, week by week, however you want to talk about it, through the Daily Laws by Robert Greene. This is a series that will be semi in tandem with The Daily Stoic by Ryan Holiday, another series which I hope to make around 52 videos for which I hope to make around 52 videos. It is possible there will be more videos than that in this playlist, but at least I think I want to do a weekly sort of check-in on the series. This one is from January 6th. The title of the day is Change is the Law. And I picked this because this is something with which I struggle mightily. I try to calm the waters, right? Which is something you are not supposed to do. The entry reads as such from Robert Greene. In dealing with your career and its inevitable changes, you must think in the following way. You are not tied to a particular position. Your loyalty is not to a career or a company. You are committed to your life's task, to giving it full expression. It is up to you to find it and guide it correctly. It is not up to others to protect or help you. You are on your own. Change is inevitable, particularly in such a revolutionary moment as ours. Since you are on your own, it is up to you to foresee the changes going on right now in your profession. You must adapt your life's task to these circumstances. You do not hold on to the past ways of doing things because that will ensure you will fall behind and suffer for it. You are flexible and always looking to adapt. If change is forced upon you, you must resist the temptation to overreact or feel sorry for yourself. Before he became the great boxing trainer, Freddie Roach was forced to retire from boxing. He instinctively found his way back to the ring because he understood that what he loved was not boxing per se, but competitive sports and strategizing. Thinking in this way, he could adapt his inclinations to a new direction within boxing. Like Roach, you don't want to abandon the skills and experience you have gained, but to find a new way to apply them. Your eye is on the future, not the past. Often, such creative readjustments lead to a superior path for us. We are shaken out of our complacency and forced to reassess where we are headed. Daily law: adapt your inclinations. Avoid having rigid goals and dreams. Change is the law. Yeah, things are always changing. And because things are always changing, I picked two spots where you can always find a constant: Marcus Aurelius and Friedrich Nietzsche. These are places you can always find a great quote for whatever it is you are studying or hoping to talk about. Marcus Aurelius tells us, Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic philosopher, everything you see will soon alter and cease to exist. Think of how many changes you've already seen. The world is nothing but change. Nietzsche says, the snake which cannot cast its skin has to die. As well, the minds which are prevented from changing their opinions, they cease to be mind. Change is inevitable. Who are we to think that we are special and beyond the law of change? Still, we must, I think, labor towards stability. We can factor change in, we can count on things changing, but we have to do our best with what we have when we have it. One of the ways that this often impacts me is I set ambitious goals and something will come up. And when something comes up, that's fine. But when I don't perform, when something doesn't come up, that's not fine. So, example for me, I often set myself the goal of 100 miles of walking/running every month. And in the summer, it becomes a whole lot more. But here in January, we just had a snowstorm, and I don't have a gym membership. So it was negative 15 degrees today, and I had to walk. Oftentimes, in the past, if something like this came up, what's one day off? One day off of walking, I will rest up, I will regain the strength, and tomorrow I will hit it twice as hard. But what used to happen to me a lot, is I would set some ambitious goal like that for myself, um, 100 miles in a month, and one day I just kind of wouldn't be feeling it, so I wouldn't do any miles. And then the next week, there will be 4 rainy days. And all of a sudden, instead of having 4 days off, where you have to hit it extra hard in other places, I've had 5. Because the one day that I just kind of didn't feel like working on my goal, I took it off. I let it run away. Now, instead of 4 days, say I wanted to average basically 3.5 miles a day will get you, basically 3 miles a day will get you to the 100-mile mark. Those 4 days that I had to take off for the rain, that's 3, 6, 9, 12 miles. All of a sudden, with the one day I took off just because I kind of didn't feel like it, that becomes 15 miles. 12 miles in a day is difficult. 15 miles in a day means the next day kind of sucks. I've done it before, but it means the next day kind of sucks. So, that is an illustration of change. The change came where the rain rolled into Kansas City and I couldn't walk. I couldn't run. But I could have, right? I could have walked the previous week, right? And not had 5 days, just had the 4. But also I could have adjusted my own expectations on myself. I'll be a little bit soggy when I get home. That's it. That's all. So today, it was negative 15 degrees, and I did get some walking in. It sucked. It was awful. But change is the law. It's been interesting so far in this book. We are getting a little bit further in, and the first couple entries were pretty mushy, pretty rah-rah. Very, chase your dreams, everything will be cool. But I think Robert Greene is coming around to a more deep place, And for example, the next page, find inspiration from your heroes. If this were in those first couple of days, it would be, I don't know that he would have had the placement to say what he said in this January 9th entry. As a young boy growing up in North Carolina, John Coltrane felt different and strange. He was much more serious than his schoolmates. He experienced emotional and spiritual longings he did not know how to verbalize. He drifted into music more as a hobby, taking up the saxophone and playing in his high school band. Then, a few years later, he saw the great jazz saxophonist Charlie Bird Parker perform live, and the sounds Parker produced touched Coltrane to the core. Something primal and personal came through Parker's saxophone, a voice from deep within. Coltrane suddenly saw the means for expressing his uniqueness and giving a voice to his own spiritual longings. He began to practice the instrument with such intensity that within a decade he transformed himself into perhaps the greatest jazz artist of his era. You must understand the following. In order to master your field, you must love the subject and feel a profound connection to it. Your interest must transcend the field and border on the religious. For Coltrane, it was not music, but giving voice to powerful emotions. Daily Law, are there people whose work affects you in a powerful way? Analyze this and use them as models. This is an interesting entry to follow that changes the law, because in this in this passage. Like I said, this is not as lovey-dovey as the first couple of entries in the book. This is not saying that, oh, just follow your dreams and everything will be good. No, you have to follow your dreams with a fervency, and you still might fail. This follows the entry in the book that emphasizes change. Coltrane had to change. Coltrane had to evolve into the thing which became the greatest jazz artist of his era. This is what this book so far is about, and I'm liking it more and more as we go along. That is all I have for this, the second entry in The Daily Laws by Robert Greene. If you enjoy or appreciate what it is that I do here, hitting the like button really does help me out, as it tells YouTube to share this video with other people. And if you find yourself here by chance but not design, consider hitting the subscribe button in order to stick around for more, because I would love to have you back for the next one.